Let's preview the upcoming Monday Night Football game against the Seattle Seahawks. New York Giants taking on Geno Smith, Pete Carroll, DK Metcalf, and Kenneth Walker III. Start time 8:15. It's going to be at MetLife, a home game. That should be nice, I guess. Giants are favored by 2, which seems wrong. I think that might be an outdated line. And the over-under is 47. Smith has thrown for more than 700 yards, 4 touchdowns. DK Metcalf has over 200 yards receiving a touchdown. Kenneth Walker has 200 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. I don't even know if I want to read the stats for the Giants. Daniel Jones has like less than 600 yards passing, only 2 touchdowns. Darren Waller leads the team with 132 yards receiving, no touchdowns. And Saquon Barkley has a little over 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. So yeah, it's, Saquon has been upgraded from out to questionable. There was a slim chance that he was going to suit up against the Niners, which would have been the biggest of mistakes. And I don't even know if you should, now that it's been revealed that he has a high ankle sprain, I don't even know that you should really think about playing him in this game. But I don't know, I guess he's trending towards playing. I just don't think he's going to be the same old Saquon 100%. So it's like, what's the point? Last 5 matchups. Last year, we lost 27-13 in Seattle. That's when Richie James had the 2 muffed 2 punt returns. Scottish Hammer had himself a really shitty game, and special teams was the difference there. In 2020, we won 17-12. That was the epitome and definition of upset city. We didn't have Daniel Jones. We didn't have Saquon Barkley. We didn't have a lot of guys in that game, and we ended up beating Russell Wilson on his home turf. I think it was Russell Wilson's. Yeah, we just figured him out. Our defense was all over the place, swarming. Carter Coughlin was getting sacks. It was just banana land. So that was, and that's what ultimately gave us hope and thought that made us think that we're going to go on a run. And we finished 6-10 and missed the playoffs, thanks to Doug Peterson, that son of a bee. October 2017, we lost 24-7 at home. My birthday, 2014, we lost 38-17. That's when we were coming home from New Orleans. Oh man, New Orleans, that was such a great time. Got a couple of those yardsticks in my system, and damn, I had a magic stick. You know what I'm saying? I had to catch up and watch that on replay, and it was depressing. 38-17, we lost in Seattle in 2014. And the year before, 2013, we got shut out at home 23-0. And I wrote a big article about how it's the worst shutout loss at home, not realizing that a mere decade later, we would have the worst blowout home loss in 80 plus years, eclipsing that mark by a healthy margin. The all-time series is tied at 10-10. The Seahawks are 4th in points scored per game. We are 31st. We're averaging a little over 14 points a game. Seattle's defense kind of stinks. They've allowed they're 29th in the league in points allowed per game. We're also 30th allowed in points per game, points allowed per game. They're +2 in the takeaway differential, which is 9th in the league. We are -5, which is 29th. They're 13th in passing yards per game, 16th in rushing yards per game. We are 28th and 25th, respectively. It's just fucking ugly, dude. Statistically, I don't even know. I don't know. When is the season going to start? Defensive passing yards allowed per game, they're 31st. Defensive rushing yards allowed per game, they're 6th. We're 18th and 29th, respectively. So expect them to run the ball down our throats with Kenneth Walker III. And then maybe, this is not how we win ball games, but I guess unleash the beast that is Daniel Jones and just have him throw and chuck and heave and toss till his heart's content. And maybe the passing game will have a little bit of a breakout game. Just don't completely abandon the run. It's like when I say let Danny dime, I don't mean don't run the ball at all. Don't be so one-dimensional. This is the injury report from last week. It hasn't been released for this week yet, but you have to figure you're probably getting Barkley back, probably getting Ben Bredesen back. I don't think you're going to get Ojulari back. I don't want to rush back Andrew Thomas if it's still any chance that he could tweak or pull that thing. Micah McFadden should play. Wan'Dale Robinson should play. Now, the injury report for the Seahawks in week 3 was extensive. They had like 20 guys on their injury report. Now, this is from week 3, but like Jamal Adams, Julian Love, DK Metcalf, Jaron Reed, they were all listed as questionable heading into last week's game, which they won in style with the Lions. They just have the Lions number. I don't know what it is. So don't know if this injury report is going to be as lengthy as it was last week, but maybe there's some little injuries nipping at their buds. Maybe they come out flat. I don't know. There are some people who still think the Giants can win 9 games. I had them winning more than 7.5 games. I put a bet on it before the Dallas debacle and the 49er fiasco. But if they do win 9 games, do they make the playoffs? Maybe. How do they win 9 games? I think that's the big question here. So if I had to guess, I'd say, even if you do get Thomas and Barkley back, they're probably going to be skittish. They're not going to be 100%. And I just don't see us. Maybe I'd like to think that we'll keep it closer than we did against San Francisco and Dallas. I'd like to think that. And I believe we could make it closer. Could be a little bit of a barn burner situation. I just don't think we'll most likely come out on top. And then we have Miami and Buffalo. So you're looking at a 1-5 start potentially, because it's at Miami, at Buffalo, woof, and also woof. Miami just put up 70 on the Broncos, who a lot of people thought had a good defense heading into the season. They had an amazing top 5 defense last year, just didn't have an offense. I cringe when I think about that Miami offense fully operational, like facing our Giants defense. And then Buffalo scorched the Commanders 37-3. So, and they looked really good against the Vegas Raiders the week before. So I have us start going 1-5. But you could still get the 9 wins. You beat Washington twice, which I don't think we have. It's going to be a challenge. I'm not going to say it's going to be, that's like immediately punch your tickets for that one. But that's how we get the 9 wins. We got to beat the Commanders twice. You got to beat the Packers, the Patriots, the Raiders. You figure of those 3, the Raiders will give us the least challenge possibly. And you think maybe the Patriots are not that far off from being 3-0 as well. Came down the wire against the Eagles. If the guy gets his toe in, who knows? They could have pulled the upset there. And then who else did they lose to? Very close towards the end. Miami? It was Miami. So they have a stout defense, really good defense. Their offense just needs to get together. And then the Packers, who smoked the Bears, but then lost the Falcons and needed Derek Carr to get injured and a huge fourth quarter comeback to beat the Saints by 1. After the Saints, I think, missed a kick. So, hard to put my thumb on the Packers, but I would say the Patriots actually give us the hardest time of those 3. So Washington twice, Packers, Patriots, Raiders. So we're at 5 more wins, 6 total. I need 3 more wins. It's going to come against either the Rams, Jets. Who is the other team? Saints. Rams, Saints, Packers, Patriots, Jets, Commanders twice. And that's your roadmap to 9 wins. Ain't no way we're beating the Eagles even once. Maybe that final game of the year. I mean, they might have the fucking division and the number 1 seed like sewn up by Christmas time. In which case, then maybe they do. Would they honestly sit their starters for 3 weeks straight? So maybe you can hope that they'll sit their starters again, and we need to win to get in. Not what happened last year where we didn't play anyone. Saints. I don't know what the update is on Derek Carr's injury, but they too have a really great defense. So we'll probably struggle against them. I'm not saying these are easy wins. I'm just saying those are our best shots at wins, our best chances at wins. because we're not beating the Eagles twice. We're not going to beat the Cowboys or the Dolphins or the Bills. So it'll be an interesting second half of the season. If the players, coaching staff, the organization, like, we need to see for them not to completely fall apart and just give up after 1-5, because I think a lot of players might have the tendency to give up. If you come out, battle the Seahawks but lose, battle the Dolphins, battle the Bills, and you lose these next three games by a score or less, like 7 or less points, I honestly think that the coaching staff can use that and build off of that. The team can build off of that and put together a run in the second half. Now you come out, you lose the Seahawks by more than a score, the Dolphins by multiple scores, the Bills by multiple scores. I think a lot of people are phoning it in and mailing it in at that point, faxing in, beeping it in. Ugh. So that's the Giants, and that's the preview of the Seattle Seahawks game.